Welcome to Redshirt Moments, the podcast where we talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds and focus on the bravery, courage, and all-around awesomeness of our red shirts.
Before we start on our adventure, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Redshirt Moments. First episode, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, appropriate titled Strange New Worlds, and I have to brag for a little bit because we actually got to not only in New York City, not only did we get to watch the first episode of Strange New Worlds in a movie theater, we got to see the first 2 episodes, and I got to sit in the same movie theater as all of the main cast members.
So lucky.
Yeah, so got to sit in the same movie theater with the same actors watching it together. Anson Mount was across the aisle and maybe 2 years back, I think it was.
Hello, Anson.
Yeah, that was perfect. And so thank you, Paramount, because they made that all possible. So that's my humble brag of how I got to enjoy that episode. But what did you think of that? Just kind of overall, that first episode, what did it do for you?
Well, obviously, since first episode, right? It's the first of what we're seeing, their new interpretation of things that we kind of already knew from TOS, right? A lot of us have been kind of connected to that. So maybe some of us were a little watching it going, what are you going to do to my beloved show?
Yeah.
And I think I was that way just for a hair, just for a smidge of time, because it feels much more technologically advanced than TOS, even though it's supposed to have been earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It felt that way. And even the costumery and everything is it just looks better. I mean, TOS, they made stuff out of placemats that they found,
cardboard, plywood.
They were, fur, let's just glue it on this stick and we'll make an alien. Whereas now we have so much at our fingertips when you're making shows and whatnot, and they're obviously going to use that to make it the best that it can be. But it felt as though it outdid. And I realize intellectually that couldn't make it look like TOS because that was in the 60s. I get it. But at first I was like, But I was immediately then taken in by all of the characters. I jumped in both feet, even though I was a little perturbed by that. After that, I was in like Flynn. Let's do this.
So in the first episode, just a quick 30-second recap, they are pulled into a first contact situation. They have to go undercover, do some quick thinking. You're getting an introduction a little bit to all of the characters, but like the title of our podcast, we're here to focus on Redshirt moments. So did you have a favorite Redshirt moment out of the episode? Was there a moment where one of them really did something that spoke to you?
So I wanted to rewatch them all, really be have it super close to the surface for me to talk about. And I just really kind of, instead of being the researcher and making sure that I had the right things to talk about, I just got immersed in it again and just was like, I love this dang show. It is so good. So anyway, I don't have a specific moment, but I'm going to now give it to you to tell me your Redshirt moment. What was your most fave from episode 1?
So, I mean, I think, again, overall, we're not going to only talk about Redshirt moments on this show, right? We're going to talk about a lot of red shirts, but, it's impossible to talk about Strange New Worlds without appreciating all of it. So, I mean, overall, the episode, to me, home run. I think it did a really good job of showing that leadership can sometimes be a lonely place. And I think that they really show Pike as a guy who's got a lot on his shoulders mentally and emotionally. But I think if you have to focus on the red shirt moment, for me, there's a few, but it really focuses on La'an's character is where I really saw kind of my favorite moments. At the very beginning, when they first arrive in orbit of the planet, they're kind of figuring out what they should do, and they're recognizing this warp signature, but it's a little weird. And La'an's first instinct, and maybe it's because of her background, which we learn a little bit more later, but she's security, it's about safety, it's about protecting the crew, and she's shields up. So La'an makes this suggestion to raise shields, right?
Yes.
And Spock, and they're kind of in a science moment because they're talking about this warp signature, which is weird, and he's the chief science officer, and he's like, there's no reason to do that just yet, but she just recommends like ray shields. Here to me is the cool red shirt moment. Pike pauses for a second and is like, okay, why do you think we should do that? And like La'an just gives like a third, not even a 30-second, like a 10-second justification. If you're asking me what I think, like, this is what I think, and this is why I think we should do it. And then they do it. And then, of course, like the planet subsequently fires on the ship. And literally, like the crew says, oh, if it wasn't for you raising the shields, like we probably would have been caught off guard. What I love about that moment is a lot of people in the world, in the workplace, in projects, talk about teamwork, and they talk about collaboration. And to quote from Star Wars Rogue One, it was actually Moff Tarkin who said this to Krennic, if saying it only made it so. And I think the cool part of this moment is how truly collaborative the bridge crew is. And so like in previous Star Treks, it's all about like, I'm the captain, this is what I say. And sometimes there's like the crew that questions them, like, you're crazy, that's crazy talk, like, why are we doing this? And like, you know, Shatner's just like, just do it, you know, or just whatever it is. But there's like these 5-10 second moments in the show where it is a true collaboration, where it's like, yes, Captain Pike is the captain, but I want to know why you think this is important, and like, tell me. And you don't really see that in a lot of, I don't think you see it to the same extent. Like you see collaboration and discussion in other Star Trek episodes that are more drawn out over the course of the whole episode. Some people may get mad at this, but it's like, there are other captains who will like have a particular perspective on something, and then it like takes the whole episode for them to discover and admit that they were wrong and then change the decision that they made. Right?
I love the fact that you're not throwing out a captain's name. You're just going to be generic about discussion. Yeah.
This is a new podcast. We need every listener. I will not.
We don't want to offend anybody right out the gate.
No,
I got you.
It's not the only time that happens. Like there's another moment where they're on the planet's surface. They just beam in. La'an is like, you know, permission to act quickly.
Yeah. And like, I loved that actually. Yeah. Yes.
Pike is just like,
he's like, yeah,
let's go for it. Now, I don't know if that's because he's beginning to trust her. Like, you were right before about the shields. You're probably right about other stuff, but I love that, like, you know, it's one thing to talk about like trusting the people that you work with, but it is a completely different thing to actually do it, right?
Yeah.
Put a decision in their hands and let them make a choice, and you're just going to trust it. And it's like, to me, that's the red shirt moment, is like actually collaborating and actually building trust with your crew and showing that you trust them, I think is the cool.
Leadership, giving an ear to those, I'm going to put that in quotes, you know, below them, and taking it to heart, listening.
Which also doesn't mean that you like always do whatever people suggest, but it was like clear that like she's smart, she's made some good choices, like she has a good instinct, like we should trust her, you know. So I thought, so that was my favorite red shirt moment.
Can I just give you an overarching favorite moment of this first one? Spock shirtless.
Oh, I forgot about when that happened.
Get something like that.
It was actually CGI'd.
Shush your face. It was totally Peck. All right, so yes, obviously I loved what I was seeing as far as that, but also Ethan Peck is doing a fab job of taking on Spock, because that is an iconic character, right? Everybody, I think, loves Spock. So to take him on, like, that's huge. Yes, he's coming from acting royalty, Gregory Peck, but he's hitting the notes, man. Well done, Ethan. So I don't want to just make it, you know, naughty. He's doing great. I love his depiction of Spock, like thumbs up. And it's showing like Spock's real behind the scenes life a little bit. I think they mentioned, you know, his sister, and which everyone was like, what? Sister?
Oh, his girlfriend. Yeah, they mentioned that. That was a quick comment.
It was super quick. Super quick. thrown in there, but I appreciate it because everyone was wondering that later on. So well done. But also seeing his girlfriend and seeing all that, or fiance, well done. I'm liking that aspect of things as well. Like we were saying, and they're delving deeper in this into each character, and I'm really, oh man, it's making it experience so much more.
Yeah, it's to me the first episode home run out of the park, and I love that all of the characters seem to be getting like equal treatment. Just like they're all of the characters have something interesting to offer, and we got a little taste of that. So can't wait to see more of it. Can't wait for us to talk and dissect a little bit more of the next episode.
Yay! And oh my gosh, can't wait till the Gorn because it was kind of foreshadowed in this episode. I'm like, oh
The Gone. I feel like you have to say
Gone.
it in her accent. The Gone.
The Gorn. That's
The
as good as it's gonna
Gone.
get. Yay! Well, Mike, I'm loving our show already.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll catch everyone at the next one.
Follow us on all the manners in which you can. That was 150 minutes long. More than that,
no.
actually. Get in the chopper.
And the people, they drive back and forth over this road every day, and there's a pothole, and they don't fix it.
All right. Come on. My parents are going to come over with spaghetti soon. Let's go.